34 in a victory yesterday, had his fourth triple-double of the season, and was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week midway through the game. You don't see that very often. Tracy, Phillies 5-2 since Joel Embiid's hand injury.
Better trade Joel Embiid.
That wasn't the question, Tracy.
Get out of here.
But go ahead if you want. Okay. How should they use Simmons when Embiid does come back? Because he will be coming back before.
Well, I mean, I think he just really gave us an example of how he should be utilized. You know, move him around.
They just look better as a team, and it's not against Joel Embiid, but things look better when he's got more space.
But I think what Brett's going to figure out is he's going to have to stagger those guys. Yep. So get one of them out early in the game and let the other guy just have his time on the court without the other. They're obviously going to have to learn how to play together and make it work together because there's going to be minutes they have to play. But he's going to have to stagger those guys just so you can unlock Ben Simmons this way.
But if you were coaching against him in the playoffs, you would have lineups cooked up to take it. You would have strategies cooked up to take advantage of when they played together, which they're going to have to do in the playoff setting.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure it out between the two of them. And I think for Ben, I think the biggest thing is constantly putting pressure on the team in transition and attacking that rim the way he does. And I think they're going to have to negotiate the end of games where Joel Embiid is the closer because he's the guy that shoots a good percentage from the free throw line. And your closer has to make free throws. And until Ben gets to that point, I don't know if he can be a closer.
Here's how I utilize Ben when Joel is in the game. I will have Ben on the elbow and have Joel posting up. I mean, because it creates such a havoc of trying to guard one guy whose vision is extremely good in terms of being a facilitator, and that's Ben Simmons. And then you got Joel Embiid, who can be unstoppable on the post, right?
And what you're describing is 1990s, 2000s era basketball.
But in the playoffs, if my point guard is not going to take jump shots, I have to get him close to the basket, or I have to put him in the best position for us and utilize his strength.
Let me ask you that. Best position. I know we play positionless in the NBA, but what is Ben Simmons' position? Because he's been playing a little bit of point center.
To me, that's what he is. Yeah. He's a point guard. You got to put the ball in his hands and let him make plays. He's a great passer. I mean, he sees everybody.
Yeah, but on defense,
floor.
he can guard
anybody.
1 through 5. But
anybody.
Listen, not only is he a great facilitator, he's a point guard, but he also is a point guard that could play with his back towards the basket and create havoc that way. So I would use him on the post against smaller guys. And his vision is crazy.
Yep.
The problem is when Embiid's in the game, it allows too easy to help.
Well, that's
why.
Well, the one thing Embiid can do is make a three. I mean, you can space Embiid as well. So it's not like he's just a guy you got to stick on the weak side block when Ben's posting. But you can space Embiid, and that really puts a team in a bind because now your 5-man has to make a tough decision on, am I going to help on this post up or am I going to give up this three to Embiid?
So that's what I was saying. Have Ben Simmons at the elbow, have Embiid in the dunker spot, meaning down low, because nobody can really. A point guard can't stay with Ben Simmons. I'm trying to get to the basket. He's too big and too strong. So you're creating a mismatch. That way, he's closer to the basket. If the 5-man comes over and help, that leaves Joel Embiid there for the offensive rebound by himself.
And they are elite defensively when they've got both guys out there. So that's their hope.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's a great problem to have. If you got those two beasts running around out there, you just got to figure out how to make it work.
Which I think is why they're going to invest in it and let it keep going.
Yeah, I wouldn't break that up for nothing.
What he can't do, though, he can't revert back to being passive. I mean, the way he's playing with, Joel Embiid out, he has to play when he's in there.
And see, that's why I say, but I think that's where those two guys have to come together and work it out that, hey, during the course of the game, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to make plays, I'm going to do all of these things. But when it's closing time,
we're going to you.
You're going to you, big fella, and you got to carry us home.
Yes.
And I think
it could be hard to go to a big guy in the fourth quarter, though. The Heat beat the Kings in OT last night.
Max player.
He is. He's going to be an all-star. The play of the game with 1.9 seconds left in regulation, Goran Dragic throws this beautiful alley-oop to
Great execution.
First of all, why y'all got a point guard on him like that? Like
they switched.
Really?
Miami won this game in overtime. By the way, they're 7-0 in overtime this year. Jimmy Butler didn't even play in this game. You know this organization really well, Phil.
Yeah.
They're playing great right now, second in the East. How well is this team set up for future success?
Well, I think next year you're going to see, I think Waiter's money comes off the books.
He's got
one more after next year, right? And then James Johnson as well. So with the young talent that they have on the team, you got to credit their front office. Andy Ellsberg, Chet Kamara, Adam Simon. those guys, they find diamonds in the rough. This kid, Nunn, and Hero, and Bam Adebayo, and
Duncan
Jones
Robinson.
Jr., Duncan Robinson. A lot of teams weren't talking about a bunch of these guys, but the Heat have identified these guys, and now has given Spo a bunch of young guys that are really tough, that can take criticism, you know, because Jimmy Butler obviously had a reputation for tearing up young guys. These guys can take it. So Jimmy's found a home.
Jimmy got there. They already were, you know,
those guys, they're ready.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler fell right into the perfect scenario in a culture that embraces him and who he is and what he stands for. And so I think they're set up great for the future. Those guys are just going to keep getting better.
Tracy, I think Miami is going to be hunting for that additional star player.
Why not? To add to this
Pat
team?
Riley, man. You know, Pat swings for the fences.
I know you were a part of
Pat
this.
gonna bring somebody
I
in
know he came after you.
He came at me hard. He had me riding the jet skis over to his house. I was like, hey, man. I couldn't make that, though.
But, like, that's like the move, right? Some player out there, whether he's a free agent or not, is going to see what's going on in Miami and say, I want to be in Miami. That's what Jimmy did.
Well, you have to really take into consideration of, you know, Jimmy Butler and what's surrounded with Jimmy and look at how well they are playing and, like, how the hell are they doing that? Because we didn't expect this from Miami, right? I mean, Jimmy is an all-star, but then you look around him like, who are these other pieces? How are they playing so well? I got to give a shout-out to whoever their player development is because Bam is special, man.
But I tell you what, the trade to move Hassan to Portland, which I think has worked out well for Hassan, has opened up more opportunity for Bam to be able to show what he can do and his versatility. And I think, you know, overall, their team is the star. Even with Jimmy Butler there, I think Jimmy Butler has just kind of blended in. He knows at the end of the game he's getting the ball and he's going to be the closer. But overall, they just have a team full of guys who are selfless and tough.
It's a classic case of a team that has bought into the system and that competes every night, and this is a result of what it is.
And my man can coach.
Yep.
That is true. That is true. So, Coach of the Year candidate.
That's right.
For sure. Up next, the Mavs are expected to get Kristaps Porzingis back tonight.
Taps.
We'll discuss how far they can go with a finally healthy roster. But first, it's time for our second distant replay. This one from today in 2002. D. Miles.
Oh, don't bump the head. Watch the fist. Is he going to do the fist? Oh, I want to.
Yeah,
there we go. Him and Q Rich
is around too.
That's right. Ooh.
That's authority.
Come on, Ray.
We would have shamed Rafe LaFrance if there was a jump back in those days.
That boy was so athletic.
But Rachel was in. It's crunch time here on The Jump. Giannis scored his 10,000th point last night. He becomes the 6th youngest player ever
Who's the other 5?
to reach 10K.
Y'all don't want to put that up there?
David, what's the ceiling for Giannis? Why, you implying you're on that list, Tracy McGrady?
You know T-Mac is on
Oh, wait a minute.
Just saying, you know.
By the way,
goodness gracious.
didn't get there faster than T-Mac. Viz, what do you think the ceiling for Giannis?
Sky's the limit for this kid. You got to think about it. He did this, and he doesn't shoot threes at an efficient rate yet, and he doesn't shoot free throws great yet. When those two things come together, he's going to explode.
T-Mac, think if they played offense back in your day like now, you'd be up there with Kobe.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've been putting up James Harden numbers right now.
You darn right. Devin Booker scored 37 last night in the Suns' tough loss to the Spurs. He's averaging 32.4 points in January, which leads the NBA. T-Mac, should Booker be an all-star in Chicago?
Unfortunately not. I mean, it's just the West is so deep, and it's tough. You know, you got Chris Paul, what he's doing for OKC out there. You got Westbrook, Dame Lillard.
There's going to be some tough calls in the West.
Yeah.
In the West this year.
He's playing great, though.
But you got to give it to him. The kid is putting up crazy numbers, and his team's not out of the playoff race. So that's the thing. You know, you got to really consider the fact that his team is right there, scratching the surface.
Watch out for Zion. Here he comes. Michael Porter Jr. scored 20 points and got 14 rebounds to help the Nuggets beat the Timberwolves last night. Coach, is Porter the X factor for the Nuggets here in the second half of the season?
I think he's really going to be a big part of what they do down the stretch because of his versatility. And he was a guy that people kind of wrote off because of his early injuries. And so with his skill set, with that team, with a big point center like the Big Itch, I mean, he's going to end up scoring a lot of easy buckets.
Kind of given him just a very little bit of rope. He's not rushed him back, and it seems like it's been working.
Exactly.
It's amazing the confidence that he's playing with, you know, since coming back from that injury and as a rookie. It's amazing.
Yeah. Good news for another Western Conference team. Kristaps Porzingis is scheduled to return for the Mavs tonight against the Clippers.
That's great.
After missing the last 10 games with knee soreness. Dallas did okay. They went 6-4 without Porzingis, and they've won their last 4. Tracy, how good are the Mavs with Porzingis back?
Well, I mean, they go 6-4 with him not in the lineup. That just shows you how great Luka is. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is playing great basketball. I really like this team and the makeup of the team. If Porzingis can come back and be the unicorn, like they can be really damn good. They could be a scary team to face in the playoffs. But he has to be that. He can't be passive. They have to find some way to where he's not deferring to Luka because Luka is playing so well at an MVP level. He's got to be the unicorn.
They really want to play him at the three-point line. They don't want to post him up. You think that's an effective way?
Well, I think he is versatile enough to do both. I think that two-man game is one of the best in the league as they keep playing together and get more minutes together. I don't think you need to force feed the post for him, but at some point, his effectiveness on the block will help them succeed more.
Yeah, they're going to need – they don't need Porzingis to be a superstar, but they need him to be really good.
Star,
and I still say if Dallas can make one little move before that trade deadline, teams are going to be.
They have assets. They have a trade exception, and they have Courtney Lee, who's a contract that can be traded. So watch out for them to be.
I think they just need another 15-point scorer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a defender.
Tracy, it's interesting you said because as they've looked around the league, that is exactly what they're telling teams. We need a guy with size who can score 15 points.
That's what I see. I watch them guys a lot.
All right, this just in at the buzzer. Portland mailer Ted Wheeler tweets in a response to Dame's 61-point masterpiece last night. Damian Lillard deserves his own day after making history. We're going to make that happen. Guys, what took so long? It's not like he just arrived.
He only had probably the greatest walk-off in playoff history last season.
By the way, he's got 2 60-point games this year, by the way.
Man, I mean, the bye-bye wave to OKC after that playoff win last year, that was incredible. But no, I mean.
That's an iconic NBA moment. That'll be around for 50 years.
We'll be watching video of that for a long time. And, again, this kid still has a lot of basketball left to play.
Here's something else about Damian in Portland. He is re-signed up for 6 more years. Like, he was at the spot where he could have said, I'm getting off this train.
Loyalty.
And he is, this is one of the smallest markets in the league, and he is like, I am a Blazer through and through. I'm
happy.
He's not, look, they're not having a good year. They're in 10th place. He doesn't care. He's trying to get in.
You say what you want about the market. That fan base is one of the most incredible fan bases in the NBA, and I'm sure that he just loves that community and loves being there.
You can't beat happiness, bro.
That's right.
You know what I mean, in an organization that treats you well, I mean, you just can't beat that. Fan base is great.
Dame Lillard Day.
Yeah, well, he's also got $250 million as part of that deal, I like to point out. But, like, I mean, you think he will remain committed to the franchise?
Absolutely.
I do. Yeah, I do.
That's
I
who
think
he is to the core. Yeah.
He's a pretty
and I also
real
think
dude.
with that contract, there's a clause in there that you can't get traded for a while, so I think it takes some of the pressure off. And I will say this, Paul Allen passed away. We weren't sure what's going to happen with the team. Not only has his sister kept the team, they have the highest payroll in the league this year. Now, it's not working out because they've got injuries, but they are investing in that team, and I think Damian appreciates it.
Yeah, and if that team gets healthy, no one wants to face them.
No.
They don't want to deal with Dame and CJ and Melo coming downhill at them. That's going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs.
And they had good finishing kicks the last 2 years to get the number 2 seed in the West the last 2 years. So, maybe that once Nurkic comes back,
I think they'll make the push, and I think they're 7, 6 seed. They can get up.
And Melo,
back in the playoffs.
Walking
Love
bucket.
to see Melo back in the playoffs doing his thing.
All right. Well, thank you to Coach Fizdale and Tracy for joining me today. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern with Rachel. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Nice one.